Welcome to the Good Girls podcast, where today we are getting in our little time machine and taking a historical time travel through the pages of Cosmo. We had previously mentioned that for good Christian girls like us who weren't given access to sex ed, that 90s, 2000s Cosmo was basically the next best thing. And yeah, parents, you don't teach your kids about sex. They're going to learn about it through porn and Cosmo. We're going to go back to the 1960s, which is when it first transitioned from sort of a general interest literary magazine, which who knew? I guess that's why it was called Cosmopolitan for the well-read individual. And it got taken over, our new editor-in-chief of Helen Gurley Brown. And she was the one who gave it its kind of like
Chibi.
va-va-voom. Yeah, it's a little zhuzhing up of a sexy little magazine manual for ladies. So we'll start off, Kay, with some sex advice throughout the decades, how to be a great lover. And so I'm going to give you one from each decade. And if you could choose one that you think is, maybe some decent advice, which would you pick? So 1960s. Be not the hottest girl in the room, but the second hottest girl in the room. I think I like that in the 1960s, there was just like one objective of hotness, and you could just rate yourself on that scale, apparently. Okay, 1970s, put a little blush on your nipples before bedtime. I'm picturing like Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, where she hops out of bed to like do her face before her husband gets up. She's like blushing up her nipples a little bit too. I mean, that would have been if she was ahead of her time, obviously. 1980s. If your man looks at another guy's eyes for longer than a microsecond, be suspicious he is bi, and in this case, cannot be in a long-term relationship with you.
Which, my partner is a starer, and so this would be a huge problem. Maybe he cannot maybe he is in fact bi, and he cannot be in a long-term relationship with me.
Also,
Because
something
obviously all bisexual people cannot be in long-term relationships. That's
I
just a
know.
fact.
I feel like if we went back and just read through older Cosmo just to read about their opinions about bisexual people, that it would just be the Wild West, because I feel like we really used to love shitting on bisexual people. So I feel like there was several things that we found in there.
Cosmo in the '80s is problematic, and we will get to that
Yes.
later.
And I feel
Maybe
like now we're
the
a little
most
bit more like,
problematic.
yeah, we're probably all a little bi, and that's cool. So we're doing
Some of
fine in
us
our
wish
long-term
that we were
relationships.
lesbians, but we're trapped being straight,
Yeah, yeah, that's a whole other episode. Okay, 1990s advice. This one's nice and simple. Just roll up a little piece of spaghetti into your mouth and then feed it to him,
So
kind of like
it's
a
just like
bird.
a single piece of spaghetti,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Lady in the Tramp
Lady in the
style?
Tramp, but you roll it up in your mouth.
Oh my gosh, like the
What's not
saliva.
hot about that? Alternatively, I just said this one because it's the epitome of 90s heroin chic, is they were like, it was an article about like have him massage your thighs a bit, give you a little massage to get you rubbed up, but you could really double time, make it extra efficient by doing the massage with an anti-cellulite slimming type of cream for your unsightly thighs. I mean, what
Mm.
isn't a turn on about having somebody stare at your cellulite and try to get rid of it?
Yes. I would probably of these options, so there's so many good options, it's very hard to tell. The advice that I would take was probably to feed him the rolled up spaghetti because I think that we would just have a fun time with it. It would not be sexy, but we would have a fun time.
I think I would go with be the second hottest girl in the room because I can't scientifically verify this, but I'm pretty sure that was kind of my deal. Never been the hottest girl in the room, but I like that, like, be unassuming. Well, we can read that's part of a longer thing of advice, so maybe we can discuss it in context.
Yes, I think that if I could strive to be the second hottest girl in the room, I guess I would just put out there that sometimes maybe being the second hottest means that you try to be the first hottest and then somebody else upstages you. Like,
Yeah.
are you talking to the other woman about what they're wearing that night? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know who's showing up? Do you have,
I
like,
don't
little
know how
headshot?
we rank this or how scientific we need to be about it, or if it's more of a second hottest state of mind that you're aiming to achieve.
That's right. The second hottest stage of mind. I've really had, like, a fifth hottest stage of mind, and now I know that's all wrong. So, let's start with the 1960s.
Do we wanna jump right in with the, being the second hottest girl in the room one from Ellen Peck's 1969 book?
As
Uh,
long as we get to the amazing workplace advice next, I would love
especially
to
since
read.
that is from the mother of Cosmo, Helen Gurley Brown herself. Yeah, so let's start with this book. So I guess not all these are Cosmo, by the way. I think some of these are like other, sex.
Alan Peck's 1969 book,
Yes.
unironically published in 1969, How to Get a Teenage Boy and What to Do with Him When You Get Him.
Ooh, watch out. The cougars are coming. I'm hoping that this was written for teenage girls.
I
Is that the
it
context we're
was written for teenage girls.
I think Ellen Peck needs to be a little bit more specific for our dirty later than 1969 brains.
I am reading it, and I am going to our local high school dance.
I'm ready as the second sexiest. Okay, here's what she says. Looking second sexiest gives you a couple of advantages, especially over the girl who looks sexiest. That girl, Irene, what the fuck? Why Irene catching sprays over here,
Definitely
is
not
gonna
a
look
sexy
slightly out of
face.
place. She's gonna make the boys feel slightly self-conscious about approaching her. Oh, they're turned on by the way she looks, all right. But a guy looks at Irene and knows if he picks tonight to make out with her, he's going to go through a lot of ribbing all next week.
Is that a thing? Would they really fear approaching her because they're worried about their friends noticing it, or are they just shy and intimidated by beautiful Irene?
Yeah. And
I think that the rationale doesn't make sense. I get that the rationale as feeling slightly self-conscious or that they're more likely to talk to, 2nd to 5th hottest state of mind girls, but I don't think that a reason why is that they're ribbing all next week. So, Ellen,
also, if you did hook up with the hottest girl in the room, like, why would you care? Your friends are obviously giving you shit because they're just jealous that you got to hook up with the hottest girl in the room.
if he was able to do that, I just strongly doubt that he's the type who is also gonna be fine with the ribbing and he's gonna be able to confidently handle it.
Yeah, the confident type of man that can handle Irene, like, Irene doesn't need to fuck with guys that don't have the confidence to,
Yeah,
get a little
maybe
light
we
teasing from
wanna
their
be
friends.
Irene.
Yeah.
So
Also, this is just very 1960s dressing for the male gaze. I'm just like, why don't you just dress however you feel confident? And then if a guy's not into that, then he's not the one for you, ladies.
you wear your peasant blouse, or, your little dress that ends, like,
Mini
mid-thigh.
dress.
Like, yeah, that I feel like that was the thing in the 1960s.
Yes.
So, Helen Gurley Brown had some pretty awesome advice to screw your boss, literally.
Yes.
In her
What could go
book
wrong?
so she also wrote a book called Sex and the Single Girl, and she said that seducing a guy at the workplace is a marvelous time to sink into a man because while sleeping with your boss is precarious, it's actually really good for your work ethic. A girl in love with her
Mhm.
boss will knock herself out 7 days a week and wish that there were more days of work. Tough on her, but fabulous for the business.
But I'm confused about whose side are you on, Helen? Because, like, I don't care about
The
the man.
business. She's a
Yeah,
businesswoman. She's the
that's true,
editor of
she's editor in
Cosmo.
chief, okay. Because it's like, don't take your life advice from Helen, like, I don't care. This is the opposite of the Gen Z quiet quitting, and I think we all agree, which is better.
I think you can think of Helen more as, like, Miranda Priestley, where she wants the women who are, like, at the
She's
office
like a
committed.
trashy Miranda Priestley.
Yeah, not quite as well dressed, but one definitely wants women in the office.
Also, this is a very pre-HR times statement to make, like, this is an HR nightmare, Helen, and just the idea that she's gonna be working harder, even if capitalism is your end game here. If you're sneaking around, like, being like,
You're not
"Alright,
working.
like, everyone's gone home, like, let's, fuck on top of my mahogany desk," I feel like you have other things on your mind besides, like, meeting the monthly sales, quarterly, whatever goals,
Yes, as
KPIs.
someone who has a work wife, I feel like I get there to the office, and the first thing I think about is my coffee date with my work wife,
Yeah.
and we take about 45 minutes, and none of that
Same
involves
with me
work.
and
It
my
is
work wife.
nice
Yeah, we'd like
chatter.
put little meetings on the calendar and we'd just book conference rooms so that we could eat our lunches together and talk shit about things that we didn't like. And we were just really focused on maintaining our relationship over
And
stupid
maybe that was secretly
goals.
helping you show up to work and be excited to be there,
In that
and
I
your
was
work
physically
wife.
there.
Yeah, but maybe you didn't have to have sex with your boss to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Get you a work wife.
so Helen, we're rating that as questionable. Then there's this nice Playboy article about the psychology between how women keep their legs. So, how
I
a
was a
woman
little confused by this
disposes.
title when it said between how they keep their legs, like what you keep between your legs. So it's like how you sit positioning your legs, right?
Yes, so when you're
Okay.
seated. So if you're dangling one shoe while, folding your legs, then you're a delightfully incurable flirt with
Okay.
a lot of come hitherness. But men, keep cool. That girl does not always intend to deliver. Now, the best way is actually for girls who are sitting with their knees 4 inches apart, because they are apt to numerous love affairs and constant sexual excitement.
I mean, feel like for the 1960s, if there was a woman sitting in a skirt, most likely with her knees apart,
4 inches apart.
yeah, that does seem like that's some definite
We're saying that the
fuck me now
Playboy knows
energy.
what they're talking about.
I mean, in that one, in as much as you can read into those things, but that actually does. I mean, some of these things, I feel like you get these stuff that it's like, imagine a bird, and depending on what color the bird is, that they say that this is like what kind of or like what kind of bread are you quizzes for BuzzFeed. I mean, at least I feel like there's a direct correlation between, especially in an era where women were taught. I mean, I even feel like when I was a kid, I was still getting some energy from my grandma about how to sit like a lady. So they definitely, there was the messaging out there about how to sit like a lady. So if you aren't doing it, it seems like that may be kind of intentional, whether you're just trying to be an independent feminist, or what, I'm not sure. But I feel like also the being more independent feminist and eschewing the traditions of being ladylike probably has a high correlation with also being open to multiple, numerous love affairs as you prefer constant sexual excitement.
So, we're gonna give Playboy sexual advice an okay grade because while problematically worded, is
It was
likely
the 60s.
accurate. And now we're gonna zoom to the 1970s where we have this beautiful full article about easy steps a woman should take before sex. Now, these are in the first few weeks of sleeping with a man. Given that it's 1970s, it was written a bit like this is someone who you are now married to, because it said to spend more time getting ready for bed than you do for a night out. Moisturize, powder, put blush on your nipples. Pale nipples are okay with old friends. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know if it meant like old, people who you've been sleeping with for a while or
Yeah, like, once you can try, see, I think, this is the '70s, so this is, like, the sexual revolution is happening, so I think this isn't necessarily, like, your
marriage.
husband,
Oh,
especially from coming from Cosmo. I think that they were pretty sex positive about having sex with people that you weren't married to, especially in 1971 when this was written, so I do think this is kinda like, you've got your fuck buddy, and now you're trying to keep his interest for a little while. But yeah, never heard anyone talk about the color of somebody's nipples as being a
they
concern.
definitely like them pink.
N Nice and healthy. That's a
Yeah.
sign of a healthy woman right there, is some nice pink
Yeah.
nipples.
I thought that, nipples were darkened so that babies could find them for breastfeeding. I didn't really think about how it
Yeah,
matters
but
to men.
pink, I guess they didn't have bronzer then, did they?
I'll point you to the right colors.
You go into a makeup counter, and
I've
I'm like, "I
never
need to figure out the right color of blush
I've
for my
never blushed
nips."
my nipples before. I guess I
Me
should
neither.
make that clear. Never use old nighties on a new man. Buy the best sexy nighties you can afford.
This totally sounds like the barefoot Contessa being like, "Extra virgin olive oil, the best you can afford."
And then
You know that
disrobe.
Ina Garten doesn't use her old nighties on Jeffrey, so
Yeah, there's definitely the best that she can afford.
just like her
And
olive oil.
when you disrobe yourself, do it in a leisurely way where the lighting is best and a way that puts your best features first.
Okay, this is getting thinking about your lighting even before the social media age. I respect this.
Imagine
Everybody's thinking about their best lighting.
like a 1970s like lava lamp or like a cool blue
Position
lamp.
yourself, pick a lava lamp in a color that most sets off your skin tones. I could see that being a quiz in 1970s Cosmo, is figuring out the right lava lamp to have in your boudoir to set off your
Like,
nipple
on your
colors.
water bed. Um, then use, like, ways to hint at what you want or get the guy ready, like a sketch of a beautiful nude over your couch that almost looks like you, which I really enjoyed the idea of picking out a nude picture that resembled me to go over the couch, like, in the living room. And then
Hopefully.
things like, like a bra, they specified not a girdle, but like one of your sexier bras you can get stuck in the couch cushions. So they
Be
make
like
your
the modern day
man
equivalent of, like, having some Spanx stuck in the not a girdle. They're like, "Ladies, leaving your Spanx lying around is not a turn on for him."
like some cotton underwear with, like, a lingering period stain
Okay,
on
I
it.
do like for that one the assumption of how easily suggestible men are, and also that they need it's like, "Oh, you invited me over to your apartment for sex." I didn't pick up
Yes.
on that until my mind was put in the right state of mind by this,
Honestly, I feel like if I saw that, I would figure the person had had sex with somebody else, not me, and, like, the bra was
yeah,
still there, but
that's sloppy.
a book of exquisite erotic art left on the kitchen counter, not a bedroom where it might be confused for a manual.
I don't see the problem. I don't see the distinction there, but okay.
Probably also need a manual. Um We also enjoyed the 1970s Cosmo covers, which had things that might still be true today based off of the stuff that women like to read. Why Nice Guys Finish Last, a woman's need for a man who dominates, protects, and occasionally mistreats her.
Oh, they've been reading too much romantasy.
Yeah.
They're looking for a shadow daddy.
The 1970s person just wants Zayden Ryerson to treat her bad. 101 ways that a man can please you if only you would tell them. And that feels like
Okay,
probably still true
here at Good Girls,
today.
we're all about increasing your communication in bed. That's great.
Thin, thin celebrities, and that's not me saying thin twice as stutter. It is thin twice because they really want to emphasize that these celebrities are skinny. Tell their most effective crash diets. Man, I am so happy that at least for now we're out of that
Yeah.
phase.
Like, I feel like I still hear problematic stuff, but when you go back and I don't know, I just also think of, like, from our childhood, the '90s stuff was another period that was really bad, and diet culture. It wasn't just Cosmo, too. It was like,
It
growing
was
up for us, like,
everywhere.
was your mom a Weight Watchers
Yeah,
fan?
oh my Atkins. It's going
Yeah,
on
I
I
feel like we
don't
had, like, Weight Watchers points cards around, yeah, like, those, like this was 1970s, actually, even though I think they were made in the '80s. My mom had a series of Farrah Fawcett aerobics videos, which, let me tell you, her outfits killed.
that Farrah Fawcett, go you.
No,
Awesome.
maybe it was Jane Fonda. I think it was Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda, she's still looking great today.
Yeah.
Um, I remember being told that a bagel was the same as eating a loaf of bread, and it literally took me until, like, 2 or 3 years ago to accept that that was, like, completely wrong and a bagel's okay, and even from a Judy Blume book, that
Mhm.
bananas are too carby and we shouldn't eat bananas. It took me, like, a decade to get over my fear of bananas just making me an Oompa Loompa right away.
That's too hard to keep up with all the stuff that it's like, "This thing is terrible for you. This one is the best thing for you in the world." But if you do wanna be cheered up, Google Jane Fonda aerobics, and, anyone just look at the fashion, the hair, the all of her covers are just with her, like, holding one leg up to her forehead, sitting on the floor. It's just it's art.
Go Jane.
Yeah. Still looking
Well,
good today. Okay, and then the last one on that one is, Wives Run Away Too, a starting report.
a startling
A
report. So
startling report, oh, yeah.
yeah, so wives run away too. Yes, of course, wives run away because they have an extreme amount of pressures put on them and no rewards.
Yeah.
So not startling.
Oh, I have another one, this one's from the '70s, the guy's definitely wearing, like, a combination of a smoking jacket and, like, a motorcycle jacket made out of red silk, and she's sticking her hands down the front of it, clearly to fondle his
Mm.
nipples. And I just like that the headline in this one is Cosmo's Guide to Marvelous Men: How to Know Them and Make Them Love You. How to have a
Ooh,
great lover, subtitle, sub or byline, how to have a great lover who is also your best friend, how to help make him your equal. I feel
help
like
make
that's
him your
how to help
equal.
make him your equal. Is that like bringing him up to your level of awesomeness, or is this the '70s where it's like how
Bring
to
him down.
help him help you be more,
Ugh.
equal? I don't know. Golf and other sports. Sexual energy and how to have it. Touching in public, which
Hmm.
is what they're doing on the cover here.
PDA. Um, and when we focus on the 1970s, Cosmo, because once it gets to 1980s,
It's real
some
bad.
problematic beliefs come in. Like in 1988, Cosmo ran an article saying that women had no chance of contracting HIV from sex with a man because HIV could not be transmitted in the missionary position, which is great because that is the only position that we have sex in.
That's true. That's how you know you're a heterosexual when you're just having a lot of vanilla
Just
missionary
straight
sex.
missionary. Never try to enter me another way than missionary. And then that is where we get the whether a man is bisexual, there's ways
Mhm.
to detect and follow, do their eyes follow other men? Be very cautious. Be suspicious if he seems intensely interested in how other men dress. Occasionally, heterosexual men are really interested in this, but it is not common.
Okay, Pepper Schwartz. How do I know if my man is one of the rare hetero men who just likes to dress himself?
You're taking a risk, you might as well just break up
In
with him
another
now.
decade, we would have a name for these men, and they would be metrosexual, which is also just hilarious that we had to have a whole special term for men that could just complete basic
Men
grooming
that can
tasks
dress
and,
okay.
like,
Yeah.
show interest in their clothing.
Yeah, and, be on the lookout for any signs that your man is flirting with another man. The boy-boy signals are the same as the boy-girl signals. Lingering glances, a second look, moving closer to one another, and increased animation in each other's presence, which makes me laugh because, like, a lot of men
Yeah.
get pretty excited in each other's presence.
Yeah, yeah, and, like, we have talked so much about how we want to just uplift male friendship, like, just let the boys be boys more and have their little friendships
And they
together,
love it.
and I feel like it's fucking advice like this that's really making it hard for them. They're just like,
Don't look in his
"Oh,
eyes
like,
for more than a microsecond.
like, enjoy hanging out with my friend, but no homo, man, like,
Yeah.
I don't wanna make eye contact with you, that'd be super gay."
And to tie up the 1980s from Cosmo,
So bad.
Jeffrey Epstein as Cosmo's Bachelor of the Month. A financial strategist, Jeffrey Epstein, age 27, talks only to people who make over 1 million a year.
No, we know
What
that's
a catch.
not true.
If you're a cute Texas girl, then write this New York Dynamo at 55 Water Street, 49th floor, New York City, 10041.
And by cute Texas girl, he literally means girl.
Girl, if you are a woman, please do not apply.
You're 16. He would love to hear from you and or drug you. Yeah.
Not even an attractive picture. There was no change over time.
Yeah. Yeah. He really just had to be rich to get anybody to pay attention to him.
So, the 1990s got a little bit better.
Yeah.
Did
Well, we
yours
get a little
too?
these are some funny ones. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the 90s were a weird time. This is more of just like a lightning round rundown. Um, so we got
Ouija stroke?
the squeegee stroke, you giving your man a hand job, and, I don't know, you just, thinking of it this sounds like
I
squeezing tube out of a toothpaste out of
There's
a
no
tube.
video, but I am watching just like a hand job happen right
I'm
now
just
and
making
nothing.
vague, confused hand job motions. I'm not really sure what that means or if that visualization would be helpful for people at
So
all.
there's no spray bottle involved in the squeegee stroke. It is
Uh,
literally just
I
as they were
think that there
squeegeeing.
not that I saw, but I honestly think that that was only because the author lacked creativity and vision, okay? And I also think we should probably each try one of these to, take home,
Well, probably
and
not the squeegee stroke for me.
no, I want you to try it. Your lack of interest in it makes me want you try to make it enjoyable all the more.
Squeegee. Just makes me think like there like blue spray gonna show up at the end. The rolled spaghetti, which we talked about.
Yeah,
Pretend you're a
play
sportscaster?
so I think this is, like, calling a play-by-play of your encounter with the man. I would only like this if you were using it to nag him and you were like, "Oh, and that is disappointing performance from the
He
rookie."
was so close, but he was just a millimeter too far from where he had
They
to
are
be.
right,
Yeah.
right to the left of the
The
goalposts.
coach is mad at the sidelines. The coach strictly told him to keep going exactly at that pace, and he adjusted.
We know he's gonna be back to free agent status next year at the rate this game is going. I love this one, especially if
Yeah.
you're just trying to make your partner feel terrible, which I assume a lot of this is. We have the massage your inner thighs with, give it a little sensual massage, for good measure, add in the anti-cellulite cream.
Mm,
Classic 90s advice.
maybe I'll give him some.
Let's make everybody feel shitty about themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed some cellulite on your thighs.
It's just like being like, "Here, I got you that gym membership that it appears that you need for your Christmas present."
Uh,
Um, Tickle thighs with flower petals. I feel like this is very classic Cosmo advice that it's just kind of like they're just, have a fish bowl full of random objects and then,
where
like
am I
or,
getting
like,
these
dice or
flower
something.
petals from?
Yeah, they have, like, dice or something where it's like, tickle his thighs with a flower petal that is just, endless advice. I think I mentioned earlier, I remember one that I read in childhood that was, the hot cold where you, like, put ice cubes in your mouth and then go down on him, and there's just, like, a lot of things like that where they're like, "Look around you, any object can be sexual, just try sticking it in your mouth or up his butt or
But they don't have to be. You can also just keep the
just."
objects separate.
Especially for people who worked in emergency rooms, I hear the whole, like, you don't wanna
Yeah.
test with objects up the butt that weren't designed to come back out.
Like, there's stories like the vibrators can get stuck up the rectum,
Oh,
like,
so even things that are
pelvic bone.
designed for sex play get stuck in there.
The last thing you wanna do on your anniversary is have a vibrator in the on position stuck somewhere in your bowels because it just traveled up there. Yeah.
Oh, ooh. Are you
These
s
things happen. They did not happen to me
I was
personally.
gonna say,
I saw
how
your
many
face.
degrees of
No,
separation are we talking about
I did
here?
not have a vibrator stuck up my colon personally, but these are, true stories.
Mm. That would actually be a good little, mini, episode wrap up or something. That would be just, favorite, emergency room
Objects
stories.
getting stuck, oh my gosh. Objects getting stuck up the rectum, a whole thing.
Gotta be careful about that.
If you like
Um,
ass play, be careful.
yeah, yeah. Use something with a solid grip that you can back out. So this was avoid things that might accidentally trigger your sex drive. Misaddressed mail, answering wrong numbers, and a gentle grocery cart collision. I'm not sure if this one was meant to be ironic, but also this kind of sounds like the thing that like men that are so horny that like somebody accidentally brushes against their crotch and they just like come in their pants. It's like if you are turned on by a random grocery cart
Misaddressed mail.
collision.
I originally thought that this was, like, the opposite. I thought this was, like, things that might bring your sex drive down, like
Oh.
extra mail. No,
No,
you're
it was
right, wrong
like
emphasis.
mysterious things that would pique your interest and then just, like, give you a little boner or something, but I'm like,
Yeah,
"I
that's
don't
a
know."
very male-based
And,
list.
like, it's I don't think the problem is that you shouldn't let yourself get excited. I think the problem is if you're excited by, like, that random of stuff, you should probably just masturbate.
Yeah, you
Just a thought.
probably need to
And this
release
was the
some
'90s. We were
energy.
okay with masturbation by then. We were talking about it. So, um, the wetter your kiss, the more saliva is exchanged.
You want them more saliva? I mean, I don't really
Yeah.
mind it as, like, something that just needs
I mean,
to
it's if
be
it's there,
involved.
it's fine, but I feel like if somebody was like a sloppy dog
I'm not looking for
licking your
more of it.
face, I don't.
Like, I
Yeah, especially because like, when your mouths are locked together, it's fine, but, like, have you ever, like, smelled if somebody, like, licks your hand or something, like, the smell of saliva? It, like, actually
yeah, it's
doesn't smell
not
good, so
something to
this
seek
I don't
out.
I mean, we don't have to try to, like, eliminate it entirely, but that's a weird one.
I still think about the person from our questionable sex advice episode where they said that all that was left after the husband was going down on them was his saliva, like none of her wetness, and
Mm,
that seems like such a bad smell to me.
yeah.
Just
Ugh.
saliva, like not no, I
Yeah,
don't
and
know, cover. So
just some kind of infection waiting to happen too without your
a
own, like, natural.
dry vagina with just
Yeah.
a bunch of spit on it. Like, no, thank you.
Um,
Pretend his nipples are a chocolate ice cream cone?
I mean, I feel like if that's helpful for you, that seems like very
That's the
inane
guy's thing, yeah, that.
advice
It's,
for sure,
very basic. So,
if that helps.
zooming into what's on Cosmo today, I thought that there was, like, some interesting articles, and I don't know why it feels like a lot of them were on cheating. Like, there was one on homewrecker kinks. Women say that a guy risking it all for them was hot,
'Kay.
but, like, by risking it all, they mean, like, their wife and kids. Like, yeah, like, their household safety. I don't
Also, I'm a
know.
little suspicious now because I just feel like there's kind of like a clickbait nature to everything, and also, like, it used to be that there was, like, a few of these, like, racier types of publications. And nowadays, I mean, anybody can look at these two idiots. Any two idiots can like have a podcast or a blog or publish something on the internet. So I feel like they have to get more ostentatious to be able to get people to pay attention, and they're just like throwing stuff out there.
So, homewrecker kinks, maybe a thing, maybe just a way to get us to click
I am
on
sure
their
there's at least one
article.
person in the world who has a homewrecker kink.
Ethical non-monogamy was
That's a big
a
thing these
term I
days.
learned. Okay, so you already knew about it. So that is when you're in an open relationship, but it is with transparent boundaries, and so it's considered ethical while being,
Yeah.
not monogamous, and so it's ENM, and people put it on their dating profiles and everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are like sites that are specifically for that. And I feel like this is just a much more common thing. I think I saw some statistic, but they're like, oh, the number of people out there who are polyamorous is like actually a lot more than you would think. But a lot of people are just more transparent about it, or having relationships where like one person has a hall pass, but the other doesn't, if that's what they agree, or they both do, or like, they said like as long as you're communicating about it, then find something that works for you.
Yes, and then there was one on why women like fantasy smut, which of course I
Is the purpose of our
appreciated.
whole podcast. So
It
we
it hit on all the reasons why too. It was like, yes, we like fantasy smut because I don't wanna, like, read about somebody going into their 9 to 5 job and middle management, or I don't wanna read about them being a CEO and bossing people around. Like,
Yeah,
I
or
want a
like
totally different
a
world.
troubling 1960s kind of scenario where the woman is having an affair with her boss to help increase the quarterly numbers. Don't wanna read it.
Yeah, it's just it
Don't wanna
makes
read
me
it, Helen.
stressed out. Yeah, I would rather that there's just a completely different world happening. Women leaving their husbands to explore their sexuality is more common than you think, was an article.
Honestly, I feel like I do know and hear more people who are not just staying versus like the early days of Cosmo, where even if your husband's abusing you, you are not to leave him. Versus now, there's just a lot more. Hey, if you're not happy, then sure. There's just a lot more, you know, openness about that. I think so. Okay, I don't know that that's like groundbreaking journalism, but tell me about the sex bucket list.
So, the sex bucket list was interesting because and this was something that they say that, like, all of us should have a sex bucket list, keeps things fun. The funny thing is that it started out so tame, like, put on a show, like, do a strip dance or something. Okay, that's, not that much. Start a sexy book club. Okay, again, like, I already talk about my smut with everybody.
Done and done.
And then all of a sudden it goes to, like, wear an animal tail butt plug, like, you can try, like, a unicorn pet butt plug, and that felt like, "Okay, now I'm going into somewhere different, that's a little bit more interesting, but weirder," and I'm not saying that in a judgmental way, but, objectively, I think if you knew that somebody had a unicorn or a foxtail butt plug, you'd probably be like, "Huh, I didn't expect that." Uh
That's it is taking the bucket list to a new level, which I guess maybe it's like a is it like
Go from,
by
like, massage
ascending
as foreplay to, like
complexity? And I guess if it's a bucket list, you have to have some stuff on there for all types and flavors.
I would love to see what my how my partner would react if I showed up with a unicorn butt plug,
I would love for you to make your own sex bucket list, okay? And that can be the topic of a future episode. And you can report back on what fun
Required.
new fashions you've tried out, such as unicorn butt plugs.
And then there's sleep with 2 people in 1 day, and I just thought that this was something that needed a little bit more explanation.
Yeah, doing it just for the sake of sleeping with 2 people in 1 day does just seem, like, gratuitous, like, yeah, they just, like, needed more things to put on there.
But that was, like, very, very early up in the bucket list. Like, it was something the person wanted seen, and it was like, "Consider indulging in the rush of power and eroticism that comes with sleeping with 2 different people in 1 day." It's like, "Well, was that alright with the 2nd guy?" Like,
Yeah.
I is there's
Losing
just girl, I
protection.
don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know. I mean, it seems like one of those things that if that happens to occur based on how your life turns out, that, like, obviously, there's no issue with that. But it seems to seek that out specifically, be like, "All right, now time to go find some other random person so that I can check off it." It's like, "You're just my checkbox for second lay of the day."
So, again, this is a 110 list, and these are
If you are gonna come up with
no.
110 things, you're
These
gonna
are
start
no, 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 no,
scraping the
no,
bottom of the barrel a little.
I'm more just, like, laughing at how quickly they got to so 12 is have a threesome. 13 is have a female-female threesome. 14 is have a male-male threesome, and then 15 is explore double penetration. It's like, okay, that is like a major, that's like 4 whole spots dedicated to threesomes, and we haven't even gotten to number 20 yet. And so maybe
Maybe they're not in ascending order of, uh,
and then
depravity.
I'm just giving you an idea. And then it's like, enjoy a round of sensual foot massages. It's like you can't go from, like, double penetration to foot massages. Like,
The
what
foot
is
massage
this?
just isn't gonna hit the same after you've experienced the double
Yeah.
penetration.
Like, have sex on a pool table. Like, these are, like, very, as long as you have access to a pool table inside a house, like, you could theoretically,
This is where you get the
yeah,
Airbnb with the pool table just to check that off.
or your basement.
That's true. We do have one in my basement. Anyone looking
Yeah,
to check off number whatever that is on your sex Cosmo sex bucket list, just
like,
let me know. I got a nice 1970s pool table in my basement.
masturbate using only Netflix shows. I kind of felt weird about that because I felt like the actors and actresses don't make them to be, like, masturbated to, but I
Yeah, but
don't
I mean,
okay.
nobody I feel like that is not something that you need to consent to is being in somebody's spank bank because I did have somebody although I will say, like, maybe keep it to yourself, but I did have that somebody once that I had, like, known a while back and then, like, saw in a social setting and then proceeded to get really drunk and tell me that, I was somebody that he frequently thought of while masturbating, and I was like
Were you, like, honored? I don't know. I don't even know
I
how I'd
mean, a
feel.
little bit, especially because like, he was a very, like, nerdy but I feel like if he had, like, Predator vibes, but he was just, like, a wholesome,
Little
nerdy person who
sweetheart.
got really drunk, and I felt like I had been kind of mean to him in the past, so I was like, "Oh, I'm glad that he didn't, like, break you down or anything," although maybe he does just like, I've just been taking Mystery's, dating advice, and
You
actually,
were
like, by
nagging
nagging
him
him,
and
he was like, "Oh." I just, like, have to masturbate to the thought of that, but
I feel like I've, like, seen that a lot that, like, men I mean, I see it in books enough that it must be a thing that men are like, "Oh, I thought of you while masturbating." Like, my partner said that before, but I think that's interesting because, like, not to be, do not think of any particular guy.
yeah. Or if you do, you're thinking of Rhysand. I'm
Yeah,
saying seriously. We like to think of imaginary men that have, penises the size of redwood tree trunks, so
uh,
sorry, men.
yeah, I mean,
But I'm like, similarly,
across
I'm also
good.
not offended if even my partner was like I mean, that's, like, nice if you're like, "Oh, I thought of you while masturbating." Like, certainly that's a nice compliment, but if I was like, "Oh, what are you thinking of when you masturbate?" And they were like, "Oh, like this really, like, hot thing that I saw in a porn," I'd be like, "Okay, that makes sense. That's
Yeah,
what porn is for."
yep, yeah, maybe I should start lying and being like, "I was just thinking about you and you only." But
Like,
normally,
I
like,
would
if
just say
anything
things that you just, like, want him to do more of. I would be like, "I was just thinking of you, like, making breakfast on Sunday, and that was, like, so fucking hot.
ooh, yeah,
Good
pancakes with
breakfast."
lots of butter.
Dripping all down your body.
If anything, it's like a joke between us because 'cause I'll be, reading one of my books and then all of a sudden be like, "Wanna have sex?" And he's like, "Oh, was one of your books making you horny?" And I'm like, "Oh, no, I was just thinking about you, baby." And then, like, we
Making
both
me
start laughing.
pancakes, slathering butter all over yourself,
Yeah.
chocolate ice cream nipples with blush on them,
I was
and
just
now we're
thinking about
conflating them
you
all
making a mess in the kitchen. Mm.
and not cleaning it up
I
because you
couldn't
rarely
wait.
do.
Without me asking a few times. And yeah,
All right, so maybe wrap it up. We've got some classic Cosmo tips that might have aged okay. This, to be fair, is a list from Cosmo. Don't worry if he takes a long time to climax. The problem lies in his humanity, not your lack of femininity. I feel like that's not my concern, is that I'm not attractive to him. I feel like it's just like you get, it's kind of, I'm like, all right, like, can you hurry up and do your thing?
oh, if anything, we, like, really need to work to prolong it, so
Or, like, especially if you're doing something like a blowjob, because it's just like, I don't know, I'm a former TMJ sufferer, so, like, my jaw gets real
Yeah.
sore after a while. I'm like, "You gotta wrap this up. Just do it." Okay, when to say no, unless you feel an overwhelming urge to jump on someone, say no. Avoid mercy fucking as he'll probably come back for more. Sex is no way to say good night or thanks. All right, yeah.
Mercy fucking is such a weird way to put it.
I agree, like, only do it if you want to do it, not because you feel bad for somebody. That's a nice one. Don't believe anyone who says you can't orgasm. Don't believe that the woman just can't come during intercourse. Check it out. Ask your man to stop his thrusting and see if your activity really mirrors his or whether you prefer a different pace of your own.
Yes, I love that. And you're allowed to not enjoy a BJ. I will say that it's just one of those things where it's almost like being told to do the laundry, whether like versus you deciding to do the laundry. Like when I am in the mood and I want that and I want to give that, it's like so hot. But if I am like asked for it, I'm like, how dare you request that of me?
Demeaning. Yeah, yeah, I agree. A lot of things like that. They're also wondering if it's about the what to do with the ejaculate itself. Um
Come
yeah,
on my
so
titties instead. Just kidding.
yeah, exactly. I think that we can all
Well,
take a lesson from Kay's partner and the man can just, finish up, go run into a corner when it's time to finish.
go run to the
Whatever.
bathroom.
All right. The most crucial, the next one is the key to better sex is talking. How you want to orgasm, what you want. So just taking lots of time, experimenting, and not just focusing on counting climaxes. That seems like a nice one. And the next one is kind of similarly about just like not just focusing on the orgasm, but just enjoying the whole experience. Um,
And I like it says, masturbate to orgasm before having intercourse or, better if possible, and this is, like, how it should be, let your lover masturbate you, which I don't think
Girl, that's not masturbation. What year is this one from?
yeah. Make sure that your lover is taking care of
Yeah.
you,
Yeah,
and it'll
she
take the
comes for
edge off your
again, comes
tension.
back to our favorite book that I haven't read. She comes first. Just let him take care of you first, and then he can, thrust away. All right. When he doesn't want sex, but you do. I like that old Cosmo recognized that this was a possibility. Don't let it degenerate into a mechanical routine. If you normally make love at home, plan a rendezvous after work in a plush hotel. Make
And just
love in the
get those
rain, in a
reservations
taxi,
for
in a
Plush Hotel.
haystack, whatever turns you on. I have maybe not those ones, but
I don't love that. I mean, only because
I'm
it just
worried for
feels
the
like this is
taxi driver.
harder.
Like, who's the poor guy who has to clean out the back seat of his
Yeah.
taxi
And
after
where
you're
is his haystack?
yeah.
Like
This is like how I feel about sex on the beach. Like,
I don't
sexy
wanna
in
have sex in a
theory. I don't want
haystack.
sand all in there. No.
And probably not really in the rain either. I mean, I understand the idea.
Maybe for like a warm tropical rain, and I had like a really nice spot for it that didn't have, because then tropical, you're talking about insects, etc. This seems difficult in practice, but I like the creativity aspect.
I like the idea of, like, if he wants it and you don't, think of how you can make it hot. I think that there are realities of, you're not gonna just make a reservation at a super nice hotel just for the sex, so maybe do something different with the bedroom that day. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, putting or read some smut. That'll get you right in the mood. Okay, putting the lust back into your loving. 15 minutes of foreplay. The average for married couples is not enough. Skin is our largest organ and it needs a lot of stimulation to come fully alive. Sensual massage, perhaps with an edible oil or lotion,
Yeah, I
helps you
suggested
discover.
anti-cellulite.
Double dose, make yourself nice and slim looking while also getting turned on. A blindfold can add another dimension to lovemaking. Your familiar partner seems like someone new when you explore him by touch, sound, and smell and taste. And knowing he can't see you gives you permission to be much wilder. Hmm.
Hmm.
Thank you, Cosmo, for these suggestions.
Looking forward to hearing any other Cosmo sex tips. I don't know, Kay, anything you're gonna take home and try out after this?
Definitely just the single spaghetti noodle between the mouths.
That one
And
seems great.
keep an eye out because my gosh, I can't be married to a bisexual man.
Based
That
on
would
this
be
advice, you may be married to a
I might be
bisexual man.
because my partner animates among other men, I might indeed be married.
He has male friends with whom he enjoys spending time.
He makes eye contact for longer than a microsecond with other males. Maybe go back in time so I can hook up with Jeffrey Epstein. You know, just a lot to take into consideration here. Well, it was great going through these with you, SJ, and thank you everybody for listening. Hope you have a great day.